I'm kind of just like spitting this out into the ether, so to speak, to try and get my thoughts on paper here because I kind of feel like this would be an interesting idea. I kind of thought about this back in the day when I was working in retail, whenever I was playing Black Ops Cold War Zombies with a couple of friends at the time, and I don't know if like maybe it was somewhat done in one of the games. Probably not, because I feel like I probably would have heard about it. But I'm watching this guy's video, right? Mr. Oh, I really hope that's not what I think it is. 1 minute. Oh, oh hell no. Okay, that's kind of interesting, especially after I just finished up watching the fourth season of Doctor Who, David Tennant's last season before the movies. Um, Mr. Dalek JD. I hope you don't try and give your best Dalek impression here, man. Don't give it away. But this video just popped up in my feed recently. The Black Ops 6 Zombie Super Easter egg, and I was drawn into it because recently me and the co-host have been grinding like motherfuckers to do probably one of the best super Easter eggs that I've ever seen in a Call of Duty Zombies game, and that is Infinite Warfare. And I'm not trying to discredit, Treyarch and all that stuff, because apparently there was like some interesting super Easter eggs. Apparently there was like a super, from what he talked about in Black Ops 2, there was a super Easter egg of having a supercharged mule kick, or there was a permanent fire sale, which I think is just fucking mental. But also there's a super mule kick that lets you carry 4 weapons in total. As soon as I heard that, my jaw did drop a little bit. I was like, wait, four weapons? 4! Not 1 or 2 or 3, but 4! 4 weapons! So, as soon as I heard that, I was kind of just like, okay, yeah. That's that's pretty fucking mental. And then I know me and the boys, we were attempting the super Easter egg in Black Ops 3 to a triumphant failure because I did my best to do it. The co-host also was as well because he's like hardcore into the Easter eggs, and I'm trying not to throw shade towards Mr. J and another certain compatriot, but we just all weren't mentally there, basically. But I think the game that got me on the Easter egg bandwagon the most was Infinite Warfare. And I think it might be due in part to the fact that I want to be properly compensated. I want to be properly rewarded for my grinding efforts, right? And when I heard of like the Infinite Warfare like director's cut for zombies, prominently being you start every single match with all of the perks and you will never lose them when you go down. It's basically a permanent perkaholic. I was like, I need somebody to do this shit with. And I was like hell bent. I was very close to just do it by myself, but I'm just going to confess right now, I would not have been able to do it. Seeing how crazy these Easter eggs are, I'm just going to say this right now. I give 80-20 credit. The 20 going to me, and the 80 going to the co-host, because he, through blood, sweat, and tears, watched all these videos, redid all these fucking bosses for me, and we fucking fought tooth and nail to get through every single one of them. From the aliens of Spaceland to the big giant, chainsaw fucking serial killer that was in the Rave in the Redwoods to the fucking Rat King of, Shaolin Shuffle, and that one kind of hurt a little bit, to be honest. And then the couple of failures that we went through on Attack of the Radioactive Thing against that radioactive fucking crab, all leading up to the Beast from Beyond and having to fucking juggle through that entire cargo bay of bullshit. But we persevered, and I got my reward. I got my super Easter egg reward in the form of the director's cut, and it's more than that as well. You know, it's not just all the perks. It's 25,000 points at the start of every match, so you can open up the whole fucking map if you wanted to. It's every time you pull a weapon out of the Wonder Box, it's always going to be Pack-a-Punched, level 1. It is also, it spawns in the Wonder Weapons in the box. So you can get the Venom X from Beast from Beyond. You can get all 4 unique Wonder Weapons from Zombies in Spaceland. You can get the 4, 4, I think. Is it? Yeah. The 4 weapons from Raven the Redwoods. And if there was Wonder Weapons and the other 2, there is a Wonder Weapon we could get all the time. The Mad from Attack of the Radioactive thing, and then as for Shaolin Shuffle, I don't know if there was anything besides the katana that you unlock when you beat the main Easter egg for that map. But and besides all that, there was also the untold benefit. I had to discover that after the fact was there was also the ability of increasing how much meter you get for the Fate and Fortune. It rose up so fucking quickly. I bet if I would have stacked it with some sort of Fate and Fortune upgrade from one of the weapons, jumping, getting an aerial kill raises it more, you get a double kill, you get more, you get headshot, you get more shit like that. It was pretty fucking busted, I'd say. So it's Director's Cut, to me at least, is the best fucking award. Now let's just compare that to the Super Easter Egg Award in, Black Ops 3. Besides the story, of course, evidently speaking, the award for that is the RK5 pistol. Needless to say, that is not a compelling offer for all the shit that you have to do for it. Now, in the video, of course, there was apparently a couple other things. Chief among them, apparently there's some sort of special sword you can unlock as well. But I think it was only in a specific part of Revelations. I don't fucking know. At least that's what it looked like to me, at least, considering how fucked up it was. It could have been Shio no Numa, wherever the fuck that one is, but I don't know. I mean, if I ever go back to Black Ops 3, trying to do that fucking Easter egg, it's it would just be me and the co-host, because it's just fuck me. But besides that, he was also talking about a couple of the other games, but they weren't really as big. And going on this video, there he's apparently theorizing as to what the super Easter egg could be in Black Ops 6 if they're to implement it. And it sounds like they probably will, but they're going off a tweet of one of the developers going, yeah, these guys at Infinity Ward, when they made the super Easter egg for Infinite Warfare Zombie, was so good, we're going to try and outdo them with the next game. Come out, props to them and all that stuff, but it's if they're going to try and do the director's cut shit, it's not going to happen, because Dalek here stated in his video it would go against the whole fact that you could buy gobblegum packs for money in the game, a la pay to fucking win. But maybe Activision could be a little bit charitable, because at the end of that, it's the end of the life cycle. They're gonna be moving on to the next COD game. Maybe it'll be a little bit of a present for those that decide to waste millions upon millions of their dollars on buying gobblegum packs to try and get Perkaholic. Fuck it, you can just earn it for free. But I had this random idea, right? Because I kind of in my imagination land, so to speak, not the South Park one. But, when I'm at work, I'm, just trying to get through the day. I'm trying to distract myself and whatnot. I come up with, random fucking, stories and fantasies and whatnot in my head. And one that did, go through my head at the time when I was doing the Cold War grind was, what would happen if you were, infected with the powers of the Aether, and you know what, that could be an interesting award. I'm just gonna drop an idea, so to speak, right? Just something to maybe change it up a little bit here. My own idea as to like a reward for doing all of the Easter eggs in like a Black Ops game, assuming like the Aether is like a part of that particular gameplay, right? And I think the reward should be you absorb the Aether or a part of it to imbue you with Aether powers. It like supercharges you, turns you to like a completely different being, all that stuff. Now, I don't know much about it, but Samantha Maxis gives off the impression she has like a part of it like in her or something. But let's say we take that and we kind of like gamify it maybe. So maybe there's like some sort of like toggle or mode you can enable whenever you do all of the main Easter eggs in said Black Ops game, wherever the fuck it is, right? And it is just called Aether mode. And when you enable it, you basically imbue yourself with the powers of the Aether and you gain an assortment of upgrades. Now, in terms of base upgrades, we'll just say it gives you a shorter delay for health regeneration. It allows you to tank double the hits, just like Juggernog. And if you were to take Juggernog, it would double that as well. So, like, let's just say, for like the most recent COD games, like before, Cold War redid the whole thing, you get hit 3 times, and that's it, right? Well, in this case, when you use Aether mode, that would double to 6. Cool, you get hit 6 times. It's kind of like, Juggernog. And when you take Juggernog, boom, it goes up to 12 times. I know, pretty fucking crazy, I know. But let's keep going. Besides that, you get a permanent movement speed increase. It's like you're kind of like supercharged in a way. Let's just say when you're moving, you'll see like Aether spots or like flame spots coming up from behind. Kind of like similar to the trails you would leave with Trailblazers from Infinite Warfare, but it's just when you're running, right? And besides that, like your overall like maneuverability is increased drastically. You can like slide further, jump a little bit higher so you can clear certain gaps easier, or even zombies in general. And may give you the ability to like maybe charge it even. So you can jump up higher in the sky and, just get away from zombies a little bit easier. Give yourself a little bit of a fucking breathing room, so to speak. And your melee's like supercharged. When you punch people, you have like a shroud of like Aether flame around your fucking hand. It does even more damage. Maybe even like inflicts like Aether flame damage on the zombies so they take damage over time. That could be kind of cool. And maybe with Aether mode, because this can kind of go into like how the powers work, let there be, similar to Director's Cut, right? Let there be a twisted Easter egg variant. Like, let's just say you're doing the Easter egg for Kino der Toten. You play it normally, cool, whatever. You do the fucking Easter egg for that one if there ever was one, and you're done. Boom. And when you do all the Easter eggs, you do the main super Easter egg, boom, you unlock Aether mode, and you go back to it. Let's just say it twists some of the objectives that you normally had to do, and let's just say it shapes it around the new Aether mode. So let's just say you have to like run from point A to point B and activate switches at a certain amount of time. Maybe if you have Aether mode, since you can do that shit way fucking quicker because you're stacking the base powers of Aether mode and all that stuff with the perks, from the cans or the colas and whatever, maybe change it so that maybe it's randomized in certain rooms, or you gotta carry a specific object that you can only hold if you had like Aether powers on, shit like that. Especially to coincide with maybe like new secrets you couldn't see otherwise unless you had something like Aether Vision, which is something maybe you can toggle on for a limited time. That besides you could see secrets, it would let you find like special critical points or hidden weaknesses on the zombies, and you'll inflict even more damage on them or stun them for longer periods of time. Stupid shit like that. It's kind of like a power trip in a way, because, it's like you're giving yourself more hits so you don't go down as much. Maybe if you go down, you get revived, you'll unleash like an explosion that just knocks out a shit ton of the fucking zombies around you. Stupid shit like that. It's about empowering you. A proper reward that empowers you to feel like a fucking badass against the zombie hordes and shit. That's how I kind of view it. A reward for you struggling as a normal mortal. From there, I mean, again, there should be the concept of like all the maps have their Easter egg requirements rearranged or fine tuned to accommodate your new Aether powers. And boom, when you use these new powers, it just fucking makes you complete the Easter egg differently, and then boom, you unlock some sort of super secret hidden object that contributes to the super Easter egg, similar to Black Ops 3 or Infinite Warfare Zombies. But as an add benefit, there should be the additional reward of when you complete that Easter egg again with Aether mode, maybe you transform how the map operates, and now certain things about the map get changed and imbued with Aether as well. Say, for example, you go back to Kino with Aether mode after you beat the Easter egg a second time with it enabled, and now certain things are a little bit wonky. Like some doors can now just be opened with your fucking Aether punch now instead of having to pay for it. Huh, interesting. Because you can now fight against the fucking Aether it's consuming it or whatever. And maybe you interact with a certain Percola machine, and boom, now you've unlocked Aether stamina up, where besides increasing your movement speed even more compared to the original, now maybe you can double jump instead. You can charge your jump, and you can also double jump as well if you want to gain more time. Or maybe with Juggernog, besides being 150% increase instead of doubling it now, it also gives you some weird effect of what would Aether Juggernog give you? When you destroy zombies with your melee attack, you can consume their Aether essence and charge yourself up for a limited amount of time. So maybe you take less damage or dish out more damage, stuff like that. You gotta think about this shit, right? But it would be a way to kind of like influence the map, like again, give you a reason to properly do it again with that particular mode, just like how Infinity War did with Infinite Warfare Zombies. You do Director's Cut again to unlock the talisman, and well, no, more like in the original case, whenever you do it, you unlock certain things. If I'm right, with Spaceland, when you did the Easter egg once, you got permanent double pap. Or in the case of my favorite, Shaolin Shuffle, you got that badass fucking katana. But yeah, as I was saying, you unlock Aether mode, you go through all the Easter eggs again, just like similar to, Infinite Warfare Zombies, and then you fight the true big bad of whatever Treyarch-esque Zombies mode. And then, boom, there you go, you're fucking done. But now you have this sick, Aether ability. And maybe you can go a step further, right? Maybe some of those extra Aether powers aren't truly unlocked until you... Maybe taking a cue from Black Ops Cold War, you gotta collect those Aether shards or crystals or whatever from like hitting certain milestones or defeating the boss on said map. And maybe with Aether mode, you have to empower yourself and unlock those abilities over time, similar to like Black Ops Cold War, where you can upgrade the perks, but instead this is some sort of like new progression tree you can unlock when you beat all the Easter eggs and you unlock Aether mode. It would honestly be kind of fucking cool in a way, because it encourages you to keep using it, getting more accustomed with it, powering yourself up, going through the Easter eggs again, in a slightly, shitty grind, but I mean, it could be something to make you want to use it. Because, to be fair, it's like, with Director's Cut for Infinite Warfare Zombies, like, yeah, it might be fun at first, but it's like, afterwards, it's not really useful. There has to be like some sort of like long-term engagement, right? Because afterwards, when you unlock it, after you do like, the boss fight, Mesofossiles, I probably fucked up the name. My condolences. But when you're done with that, it's kind of it. It's done. That's it. There's no fucking point, right? You're just done with it. Same thing for Black Ops Cold War. To be honest, I did like the concept of, okay, use these Aether crystals that you get when you hit certain milestones, and you can empower, your weapon classes, your perks, and the equipment, all that stuff. Kind of fucking cool. But then once you get all that to max, it's like, oh, that's it. Aether crystals don't spawn anymore. And it's like, the one thing I had in the back of my head for the longest time was it kind of would have been nice if those Aether crystals could have been used for something for like a long-term progress. Because I did find it a little bit fucked up that, the Gobblegums were removed. What if maybe those Aether crystals could have been used to summon Gobblegums back in? You could choose to either use the more like potent but limited time items immediately, like Gobblegums, spawning power ups or Perkaholic, stupid shit like that, or you can invest them into the items where early on they don't really give you that much of an improvement early on, but through dedicated grind and leveling it up with these resources, boom, you can make these items become very fucking potent in the long game. Same could be said for maybe my idea of Aether mode, where maybe they should reintroduce Aether crystals, or they could be used for something like that. And at first you're like, okay, I'm spending on these Gobblegums or these temp power-ups and wherever, and cool, they're getting me really good, they're getting me pretty far. And then once you beat the super Easter egg, you've gone through all the matches and all that shit, boom, you unlock Aether mode, and then it's like, oh yeah, use those hard-earned Aether crystals that you've been spending on Gobblegums or whatever, and infuse them into yourself, power yourself up, and it just unlocks a brand new tree. And maybe here's the best part, right? Maybe you could, I don't know, prestige Aether mode. Give up your powers to some sort of Aether god or wherever the fuck it is. And maybe you can unlock additional rewards after the fact. You can unlock, exclusive calling cards, operators, or, stupid shit like that. And maybe like an operator skin where you see yourself consumed more and more by the Aether as your power grows, and it maybe have like unique like effects between like flames coming off of you, purple pulsating veins, glowing eyes, and maybe like a distorted voice showing the Aether corrupting you but also empowering you, something crazy like that. And again, like the other rewards, like maybe unique weapon camos and patterns and even blueprints for that matter. Like the possibilities are endless to give you like a long-term grind as a proper reward for doing the super Easter egg. And the best part is like it's not really needed, I guess, because you could still just play through the base game normally. You could still play through those. It's more like a cheat reward. It's more of like a reward of like, okay, here's all these fucking cool shit. Go fucking ham. Yeah, it could make subsequent runs easier. Fucking A. Like me and the co-host, we blitzed through those 5 main Easter eggs in a fucking flash. Like Aliens was the Aliens for Spaceland. That was still a little bit tricky because well, Simon Says is a little bit hard to do when you have like 20 fucking zombies chasing after you, but I digress. But after that, the Raven, the Redwoods, we did that. We technically did all of them in one go, surprisingly. Every single one of them, we did them in one go. It was that fucking easy. Then again, I think it was partly due to the simple fact that he got enough salvage going to get the Sentinel variant of the Mauler, which, fuck me, that gun shreds. But yeah, no, like that would honestly be an awesome reward because it's like it's something that could add something new to do in the zombies game. That's a proper great reward that you can choose to enable if you want to, right? You can choose to enable it. The game will still be balanced in such a way you can still play it normally without it. Kind of like how you could still play any of these games without, upgrading the perks with the augments or, whatever. So you gotta play it a little bit differently, but, you do the super Easter egg, boom, you get Aether mode. Now it's like, a lot of like your core abilities are supercharged. You can run faster. You can fucking jump higher, charge it, double jump. You can fucking slide further. You take more hits. You recover quicker. You can aim a lot faster. It's kind of like just basically taking some of the effects off of the perks and putting them on you, but there should be twists, you know? And I think that could be kind of cool, especially if you can like upgrade that stuff over time with Aether crystals, you know? Like, if that were to ever come back. Like, or some sort of new fucking system, like Aether fluid. Like, maybe, like, you know, just take the essence, the fluids out of the zombies and just imbue them to you. Something like that, you know? I don't know. Then again, I'm kind of like a nut where I just like to fucking empower myself and just become, you know, ungodly and unstoppable. But I feel like something like that could be interesting because it's kind of like a necessary evil, right? It's kind of like using the bad guy's shit against them. You know, like fire, like turning the tables on your opponent. Like, for example, like let's just think back to like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, given Tony Stark had good intentions, you know, in say Iron Man 3, where he wanted to stop Aldrich Killian and he wanted, you know, fix Pepper Potts after like she was infected with the Extremis virus. But you know, even though one of my old co-workers, one of my friends, you know, we had this kind of debate before, and he was like, you know, adamant of, oh, you know, Tony can't take it, that would like defeat his character and all that shit. But it's like, I want to believe in like an alternative world in a different universe, you know, like a different reality where maybe Tony Stark has like an eureka idea, because you know the Extremis virus, minus its kinks, right? You know, like the fact that you could possibly blow up, and you know the heating issue and whatnot. The Extremis virus is basically a supercharged variant of the Super Soldier Serum, something that was lost after you know that scientist that experimented on Cap, you know, like in the World War, died for. So you know, I mean, if I was Tony Stark, you know, Aldrich Killian died. You know, Pepper Potts is carrying it. You know, she's A-okay. She was able to, like, you know, do some sort of, like, badass extremist move to save Tony. All that shit. I would kind of think to myself, you know, I could use that to my advantage. Because, like, imagine, like, the extremis virus mixed in with, you know, the strength of the Iron Man suit. I feel like there would be a lot of situations where, you know, Tony wouldn't have been put in a you know, dangerous situation. Like, oh, I don't know, being critically injured, aka killed by the gamma radiation released off of the Infinity Gauntlet when he did his I Am Iron Man snap and killed fucking Thanos at the end of fucking Endgame. Given, you know, it was a good thing, because, you know, Tony got his heroic send-off. He got the fucking, had the heroic fucking death. I understand. I get that. It's perfectly fine. If anything, he deserved it. But, you know, it's like my head churns a little bit and it just thinks to itself, you know, if Tony maybe did have the Extremis virus, I mean, given I don't know, like, what the properties would have been, like obviously, you know, with the Extremis virus, you know, in Iron Man 3, it's like the Extremis soldiers were pretty much resilient to, like, you know, basic gunfire. They could hold their own, so to speak, yeah. I don't know how that could work with Tony, but, you know, since he's always tinkering at stuff and he's learning from his mistakes, kind of like that, that YouTube series of that guy going, oh, Tony built this armor a certain way because he always learns from his mistakes. No doubt in my mind, he would have learned from that. He probably would have thought, you know, a couple steps ahead, kind of like what he did with his Mark 85 armor. Like, he was figuring out, like, how he would go up against the Mad Titan again if he got a fucking rematch. You have to imagine, like, with that Extremis virus, he probably could have, like, bolstered it or improved it over the years after he fucking got it. And he could have used that to his advantage to actually use the Infinity Gauntlet, you know? As well as, you know, like, being a little bit more powerful. Because no doubt, if he would have had, like, the Extremis virus in him as he had his, like, nano armor, fuck, he probably could have soloed fucking Thanos. Yeah, you know, it wouldn't have been as interesting. It would have, like, solidified how fucking devastating Thanos is, but that's just my power fantasy. That's just me going. It would have been fucking nice if he had the Extremis virus. But back to fucking zombies. Yeah, Aether mode. I would fucking love that. That would honestly be kind of fucking cool, especially just to kind of like fuck around with it. Because technically speaking, like that type of shit has been in certain Call of Duty games now I'm thinking about. Like, for example, there was like that crazy ethereal thing in the Prison of the Damned or whatever, or that one zombies map where you're just like a ghost specter and you're like flying around the area. Or even something as recent as Modern Warfare 2 with the Boys collab. There was like the Boys superpowers, and given it was nothing more than what, like a superhero landing like Shockwave or Laser Eyes, even it wasn't really anything that crazy. I can't even recall because I never really like took part into it because I didn't fucking care. But something like that could actually be kind of fucking cool in a zombies mode, and it'd be kind of fucking awesome if that was like maybe the super Easter egg for Black Ops 6, but I doubt. But the co-host always has this dream of like making a parody zombies game, so to speak. And who knows, maybe you can implement that, co-host. Make my dream become a reality. Add in like some sort of Aether mode as a reward for a super Easter egg, not a fucking fucking sidearm, an additional sidearm you can spawn into every single fucking match. Fuck that. Give me fucking Aether mode, because I feel like that would be better. And the best part is, you can kind of like make it a little bit more customizable, maybe, because maybe you don't want to use certain abilities. Like maybe, because obviously if you're in control of the Aether, you should obviously have like control of what you want to use. Maybe you could like limit yourself in some way. Like, make it fully customizable. Choose like what abilities you want to use. If you want to have all of them, then fuck it. Go fucking beast mode. If you don't want to do that, then fuck, turn off certain things. Like say for example, if you beat it again with Aether mode and you don't want to have like the supercharged perk cores or because you think it's a little bit too imbalanced, turn them off. Turn off the ability to have like the fucking map being consumed by the Aether and whatnot. Which now I'm thinking about, like, if there was something like that in regards to like the map being corrupted with Aether that would influence certain things about it. That's technically like 2 maps in one or some shit. Because it's like, let's just say there's like a base of 7 or 6 maps. If there's an Aether variant that you unlock when you beat it with Aether mode or whatever, maybe that would bring it up to like 12 maps overall. That'd be kind of fucking interesting. And still, you would have the option to be able to like toggle it on or off or some shit. But yeah, that was just something that to be honest, I kind of like came up, on the fly, so to speak. I kind of like love like just where my mind wanders every now and then when it comes to that shit. But it's like, it would just be nice, just something like a proper reward for doing a super Easter egg, and something that definitely changes how the game goes. Because it's like, okay, sure, Black Ops 6 gives you the ability to turn like those fucking armored fuck faces, the manglers, but it's like, go a step further. Like maybe for like, Aether form, you can transform to like one of those, the fuck were those things? The abominations, maybe. That'd be kind of fucking interesting. Or turn like some sort of unique Aether being, stupid shit like that. It'd be kind of fucking cool. I think that'd be a nice fucking unlock for a Call of Duty Black Ops game, or any Call of Duty game in general. But we all know that would probably never be added in because, we just can't have fun anymore. It's all about buying them bundles, right? But yeah, I just wanted to get my idea out there. Hopefully the co-host likes it as well, because he's obviously going to be listening to this. But, yeah. Yeah.